superpower, honestly.
It's just one of those things, like he starts asking questions, and then I start giving responses, and then I start responding to what his next question will be before he asks it.
Being able to anticipate a question is a skill.
Yeah.
I gotta
like,
grab.
what's the dumbest thing this guy could ask? All right.
Let's.
What's the follow-up on that one?
Let me just.
You know, playing chess, the way my grandfather taught me to.
Exactly, anticipating their next move. Okay, I need my folio. And we super ran out that timer, but it's fine. Okay. I just realized I did not do something. Also, the second screen is over here for now because of stupid shit.
Stop saying that.
Okay. Why is OBS mad?
Welcome.
We know. Okay. I had that mic on when I was playing Elden Ring on Monday, and then so it was still on in OBS. I don't. It's been a long day. We're off to a great start,
as always.
Here in at the lore with the lore masters.
I am super glad I did not get wine, and I elected to bring an entire bottle of whiskey instead.
Yes, I am also very glad about that. Especially because that whiskey is going to taste really great in this tea. Especially after this day. It was not like my students were great. It was just tiring. Also because, back to the story about the going to the DMV today to get my real ID. Did you know that you need 2 forms of proof that you live at your current address?
Yes. That's pretty standard practice.
I thought I only needed
6
1.
points of ID, 2 separate forms of either federal or state, plus at least a bill.
Yeah, so for some reason...
So if you need to change over a license, you need, like, an electric bill and some other proof of payment for residents.
Yeah, so for some reason, I thought I only needed 1.
Well.
But it wouldn't have happened today anyway, because since my current last name is not the same as the last name on my birth certificate, I also need my marriage certificate, which the Navy shredded.
Did you not think about it? There's not a copy somewhere?
Maybe somewhere. I'd have to find it. But it's fine. I was able to get like a regular license. I just need to come back and get my real ID. But I set myself up for success because the new license will serve as my second form of like proof of address when I come back.
Could you not have just like, okay, all right, I need a real ID.
Well, because I didn't have my marriage certificate, and then
we can't give you a real ID without a second proof of address, but we can give you a regular ID, which can in fact serve as your real ID. Okay, here's my bill. Here's your license. Thank you very much. Okay, I need a real ID.
Yeah.
Great, happy to help you. And this is
so you'll.
This is how empires fall.
It gets better. So this is what you'll learn when you switch your resident, like your licensed over to Washington. They don't print the new license in the office. They'll fucking mail it to you. Literally the only state I've lived in that does this. So now, so the best part is if like I have my temporary license, which is literally just for driving. If I die, like while I'm driving, there's no way to officially identify me. Because I have the temporary license in my glove box. I do have he gave me back my old license after he put a hole punch on it. But my old license is no longer an official license because he put the hole, like, it's invalid now. So there's no way to officially identify me.
Commit crimes. They can never prove it to you.
So for the next 2 weeks, I have to just not die or get arrested or anything, which one of those would be harder than the other, and I'm not saying which. So me acting real tough when the cinnamon roll tries to be tough. Sorry. This is welcome to
Why
America.
I'm a libertarian.
Yes. welcome to America.
And the tea is no longer sufficient without the whiskey in it.
Yeah, but isn't it so good?
It is.
It's amazing. This is like the favorite tea in this house. We are huge fans. Okay. Hang on. I was going to this. Whoop. So we're clearly off on a really strong start today. I still have like my work tabs open. It's a great day.
No, Sylvie, you cannot have whiskey.
No, yeah, please do not. If my cat was given whiskey.
Have you had this whiskey before?
I don't think so. This is the one that you recommended to me at Costco, and I didn't actually. I was gonna try it the other day, and I didn't get a chance to. So.
Come by.
That's good.
Yes.
It's very smooth.
It is.
I have
Even
a
neat
fan.
like this.
Yeah, which I
It's
should have.
completely drinkable.
We should have brought some ice up. Well.
Oh, I thought we were gonna make hot toddies.
Oh, that's right. Yes. So. Still.
This is the point where I pour water everywhere.
Amy whiskey. I mean, same thing, right? Okay. Haha. Oh, you did that. You good?
Nah, man, I'm pretty fucking far from okay. There may be some damp almond-scented parts of your carpet now.
It's fine.
Alright, let's see how this works out.
Okay. Tell me how it is.
It's pretty fucking incredible.
Oh yeah?
Yes. It's been a long time since I've had a hot toddy. Okay. Writing Wednesdays.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh. Okay.
That's the go-to on a cold winter's night.
That is exactly what I should have done on Sunday night.
Yeah, when it somehow has gone in the last week from snowing to like beautiful and sunny out.
To just to all the things. Okay, so we're gonna see. Yeti mic is definitely working. Okay, we can be heard. I'm gonna switch the scene over. Okay. I think yes, everything's been added. We're
It's
good
almost
now.
like a Godfather.
Oh.
I think because of the strong almond notes in the tea, it's reminiscent of amaretto.
Yeah.
And amaretto and scotch is a Godfather.
Oh, which I don't think I've had that.
I have to have made you it at one point. Maybe. I don't know. Alright. But
we'll see.
What we're here to do.
Yes. Hang on, let me no. I forget that everything is not how I want it to be because
everything is awesome.
Okay.
Everything is awesome when you're part of the team.
Struggle bus.
Everything is awesome.
We are a team. We're a great team. It's fine. This is not going well. Okay. Research.
We want to do one and then maybe flesh out the story a little bit more and maybe try and write a couple passages and see how it feels.
Yes. So, for anyone who is new to Writing Wednesdays, this is kind of our normal setup. We've been researching fishies.
Weird fishies.
Weird fishies. Like
dick
fishies.
Dick
fishies. Which the dick fish is, I think the crowd favorite right now. for the fish that we have researched. So as we research, I do like little sketches, which I am not a formally trained artist or anything, and I'm not saying that I'm amazing. These are meant to be kind of research sketches, which are actually going to be integrated into volume 1, which is the prequel volume, which has short stories, and it's actually going to be like a whole character thing. So that is not what, hand on. So blank page today, which we will actually use theoretically. We did not use the blank page last week. So we made a lot of good progress on like working through the story last week, and I know this week our plan was to research the mantis fish.
Mantis shrimp.
Mantis shrimp. I don't know why I said fish, because shrimp is right there in front of my face. I think I had a link. Yes, I do. So I will pass the mouse off to you. And ooh, let's pull up that photo for me, because that is a good picture. And then yeah, drag it over to there. So ta-da, fish things. So
it's like an itty bitty
it's a
lobster.
baby.
It's like a lobster and a praying mantis had a baby.
Yeah. Oh yeah, with like the mandibles in front. Although
the mandibles and the praying mantis-esque claws.
Yeah.
That can retract.
That's what I'm trying to say.
And put that segmented shell like a lobster.
Mm-hmm.
And that tail piece like a lobster.
Yeah. Which is, so we went to a live show.
About lobsters now.
I'm sorry, delicious lobster. Reed and I went to a live show on Friday for a podcast that we listened to, Not Another D&D podcast. Mm-hmm. And so they were doing a one shot, obviously, for the show, and they come upon this, like, at one point, this giant praying mantis, and there was this whole debate at the table about what these little things are called. And they were like, does anybody know mantis facts? And like the crowd was like shouting all of this random bullshit.
The forelegs?
These days? It's man, you should have been there. People were coming up with like mandibles, and then one of the guys part of the show apparently knew what they were called. He says that they're called blades.
I mean, I think the blade specifically refers to this part.
Yeah, which is
the
what
entire segment is the foreleg.
Well, yeah, so they're talking about the
blades,
the spiky part. Yeah, the blades. So it's blades, and but it was hilarious because like he was sitting one of the people in the team was sitting there, and like his eyes were like this big, and like it was very clear that he knew, and they were continuing to consult the crowd, and they were like, all right, fine, Caldwell, what is it? It's
under the sauce.
It was like
one of those sauce. It's Chicago style. It's under the fucking sauce.
It's under the sauce. He's like, okay, Caldwell knows mantis facts. Praying mantis facts. So, blades. We should name this praying mantis blade in honor of that.
He's got sunglasses and a trench coat. He's one of those surface walkers.
Yeah. He comes marching onto the beach to, ooh. Okay, this guy, I realize I just totally skipped over all of the words, but like, you know that guy.
That is the Yoshimitsu of shrimp. He is incredibly deadly, will kill you with a single strike, but he looks like a fucking circus clown.
Mm-hmm. He is fabulous. I love him.
Fabulous? He looks like a Cosby sweater. Like, that's a Cosby sweater that's this big and can kill you. But he still looks like a Cosby sweater, and I say that from the safety of the other side of the internet, as the internet does.
Yes. I mean, yes, he does look like a Cosby sweater, but it's just like, it's so flamboyant. I should draw it.
You're gonna need more colored pencils.
No, I'm not this. I made this guy. I should go back to my drawings and stop creating shenanigans.
You can like look at this guy and you can hear yo dunk dunk.
So, what I was thinking of was the crustacean from Moana.
On acid?
You saw that guy, right? You've seen Moana, right?
Yes, I have.
Okay. Because...
How many times have I sang, "What can I say except you're welcome"?
Okay, fair.
I'm
fair.
just an ordinary demigod. Hey, it's okay, you're welcome. This video has been taken down by a DCMA request by Disney.
Which, you know this, but for all our friends at home, when we both had COVID at the same time because somebody gave it to me, and
Yeah, my damn mother.
Yeah. Damn.
Thanks, Mom.
Merry Christmas, and then for Happy New Year, I got it. So, but when I was quarantined to the master bedroom in my house because there are 3 other people living in this house, and they had to continue their lives. And so one of the first movies I watched was Moana, and The Rock is a fabulous singer, he's an amazing voice, and all I could hear was Andrew's voice singing that damn song, and I told him that, and just, you gave me COVID, you ruined Maui, just.
I should get a big old fish hook.
You should. What kind of a friend are you?
The kind that apparently supplants The Rock in your mind with myself. Which I don't know what that says.
I was also, that was the day that I was I could not sit up. I was so sick. So I really think it was the COVID talking. Yeah, something like that. Direct that face to this, because that's where they can see you. What are you looking at?
It's a throwback from when The Rock was, was a professional wrestler. That was his thing. Was the eyebrow.
Oh,
the one significantly raised eyebrow.
I did not know that.
Do you smell what The Rock is cooking? The boulder feels conflicted. The boulder is over his confliction. Yes, that was a joke
amusing.
at The Rock, if nobody noticed that.
That is very amusing.
He was a professional wrestler.
Yes, I did know that.
Yeah, okay.
That part I knew. Did you also know that The Rock and Dwayne Johnson are the same person?
I've never seen them in the room at the same room at the same time, though.
That is true. So that implies that they're the same person.
Or maybe.
Maybe. I mean, I've never been seen in the same room as Batman. I could be Batman.
Always be yourself. Unless you can be Batman.
Then
be Batman.
Then always be Batman.
Yes.
Anyway.
Mantis Shrimp.
Mantis Shrimp show. We've got the fabulous Moana boy, but I'm drawing the plain. Although I could add colors to him later, but I'm gonna. This is the one that's the most clear.
Okay, so they're highly aggressive, and they're highly colored. So we could just make them absolute dude bros.
Yes.
They are wearing the crustacean equivalent of whatever a tap out t-shirt is.
What if they were wearing wife beaters? Just all of them. Or tank tops. Or just
fitted lids with the sticker still on.
Yes.
They're a fucking inch long, but they're bro, do you even lift? You may think you lift, but do you even?
And all the sailors are dude, what is this tiny thing talking to me?
One of them goes to the squat rack and launches it into the overhead. Oh shit. That's a gym foul. You just curled at the squat rack. You're an asshole. On par for the dude in the tap out t-shirt working out with a fitted lid on.
Yes. We've all seen that guy at the gym. Although, I think it was last week at the gym, I was focused, doing my thing, and thankfully, no one comes up to me and talks to me at the gym. I am not, I guess I don't appear approachable, which is fine. I want to be left alone whenever I'm anywhere in public, but especially
at the gym.
Yes, yeah. So that was it, but there was this chick and her boyfriend, and they spent, so I was going around to different machines, doing my routine, and she was sitting on one that I wanted to use, which, as an aside, there actually was a second of those, and I completely forgot that there was another one, because I saw somebody using it wrong, And I like it, so then my brain deleted the accurate use of it and thought it was for something else.
You're such an idiot. I no longer acknowledge this machine's existence.
Basically, that's pretty much what happened. Because I came home and told this story to my husband and our roommates, and they were like, "Isn't there like another one of those machines?" And I was like, "Damn it!" Runs back to the gym. But this chick was like sitting there talking to her boyfriend. Every time I looked over at her, she wasn't doing anything. She wasn't working out. She wasn't like, she was just sitting there talking to her boyfriend. And I tried to I was like, well, maybe I'm just catching her on a rest period. And I would pass her at like different times and I never saw her doing anything. And then I was like, she finally got up when I was in the middle of my last thing before I had to do that one. And when I was wiping down the machine that I had been on, another guy came and like sat down and started using it. I was like, fuck. All of you, I'm going home.
So there are two different types, spears and smashers. Spears have sharp barbs on their blade. Mm-hmm. Smashers have more like a club-like appendage. They both mostly feed on hard-bodied animals like snails and crabs. And they have excellent binocular vision, and a lot of them see in color, actually.
Interesting.
Which is kind of...
That's pretty uncommon for animals, right? Any sort of like creature that's not us.
Especially in the sea,
mm-hmm.
because color gets distorted underwater.
Again, the crustacean from Moana is not a shrimp, but he's really obsessed with colorful things. So it makes me wonder if that carries over to other kinds of.
They're mostly in the West Pacific and Indian Ocean.
Okay.
A lot around Australia, because of course something that could punch fast enough to cause cavitation, hard enough that it causes a light flash, is in the waters around Australia.
Yeah, that tracks.
'Cause apparently even God needs a deleted files folder.
That it accidentally got posted to Earth.
Whoops. Oh well. A lot of them species are solitary, but some of them mate for life. And they can be down to 1,500 meters.
Wow.
That's deep.
That is super deep.
That's almost a mile down.
I'm going to say, in American, what is that?
1,612 meters is a mile.
Wow. That's
they
really
are like 350 feet shy of a mile down.
Man. So these guys are deep.
Yeah, no, they're here to play.
Yeah. So, and that's just a starting point article. I think I Googled mantis shrimp and that's what I found. So we can find something else about them too. I'm sure there's more, because these seem to be a little more well known, question mark. Little sea bugs. Yeah, here. I can hold this down with something else if you want the keyboard.
That's fine.
Okay.
I just mostly need your tea mug out of the way.
Oh, yes.
Why not good old Wikipedia? It is a reliable source despite what your high school teacher said. They lied to you. It's not a bad starting point. You definitely need to go to some peer-reviewed sources, but...
I'm going to say, I tell my students, if you cite Wikipedia,
all right.
don't.
They're about 10 centimeters in length, just a little under 4 inches.
I'm going to do this again.
4 inches. That's why women are so bad at parallel parking. They've been lied to what 6 inches looks like their entire lives.
Parallel parking is just offensive. Like, why would someone do that? Why would we? You
never lived in a city, did you?
You know where, like, you're aware of where I grew up, right?
I know, but it just, like...
I mean, okay, so I have lived in areas, even where I learned to drive, which is where I grew up, like, there was a lot of parallel parking around. But it was also a very small town, so you could, like... I would park in the back of the Fred Meyer parking lot and then just, like, walk around downtown.
So in, like, major urban centers where you can't park behind the building because it's conjoined to another building, because that's how city blocks work, you park at the curb, and that's it.
Yeah.
Unless you want to pay exorbitant amounts of money
For parking, which...
for a parking lot.
Yeah.
Assuming that there is one near you, or a parking deck.
Which I will say, despite our experience during Comic-Con, Seattle has quite a lot of parking decks.
That's true.
Well,
Seattle's a relatively small city as far as cities are concerned.
Yeah.
See previous discussion that New York and Chicago are the only real cities in the United States.
Yes. Which
Large cities, rather.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree with that. I have been to Chicago and I've been to Seattle, and they do not compare as far as cities go.
Philly's a mid-sized city.
Oh, I've also been to Philly. Very briefly, but...
Denver's a mid-sized city. I love Denver. Denver's a wonderful city. And not just because they have recreational use of marijuana and psychedelics. Arvada Skate Park was also absolutely awesome.
Oregon has legalized, like, everything now, too, so... Portland, here we come.
Portland's too weird for me. Portland is why you don't leave white people alone for a century and a half. Shit gets fucking weird.
I love Portland.
Of course you do, little white girl raised in the sticks.
I was actually also born in Portland.
That explains so much. So much.
I lived there for like less than 2 years of my life, but I was born there.
Wow.
But yeah,
ancient Assyrians did not fuck around. They called them sea locust.
Ooh.
And prawn killers in Australia.
Which tracks. I mean, locusts were, I mean, they're still a problem, but plagues of locusts were kind of, that was a problem.
Also,
which the Assyrians...
The technical term for those blades is called raptorials.
Raptorials. I'm going to definitely...
As in, like, a
label
raptor.
them.
Like, bird of prey that has claws.
Eagle! Okay, I am drawing this technically sideways. Definitely gonna make sure to label those as what you said. Raptors?
Raptorials.
Raptorials. Okay. Making sure that this is extending this way.
They are active whenever the fuck they feel like it.
Nice.
Day, nocturnal, or crepuscular. That is to say, active during the twilight hours.
Yes, when sparkly vampires come out to play. I'm sorry.
I fucking hate Washington sometimes.
You love it here. You love it.
I like the land. I like the ecology. I like the topology.
I do want to point out that, like, Stephanie Meyer, we don't, what's the word? We don't claim her. So, I don't even think she's from Washington. Okay. I think she was just fascinated by, like, the fact that it's just cold and dreary all the time. And she felt like,
also, the
vampires...
most northwestern point in the continental United States is Forks. And if you are going to form your own little insular community, why wouldn't you do it on, like, the absolute edge of the landmass?
Yes, also that. Especially, and then in a place that is cloudy and rainy for most of the year, so they won't see you sparkle. Which...
Count Von Count and I would like to have a few words.
Oh, yes. When I was a teenager, I read Twilight, and it was partially a hate read, and partially I was like, I need to understand... Yeah, she lives in Arizona, which is, like, the polar opposite of Washington. So I read Twilight as a teenager because it was all the rage, and I was like, I have to figure out why so many people like this. And as soon as I got to the part where Edward sparkles... I remember I was listening to an audiobook, and I remember pausing my audiobook and going, are you kidding me right now? Like, because I'm all for, like, those stories that kind of take what we know from lore about these kind of creatures like vampires and in expanding on that based on the previous knowledge. Sparkling? They're not fucking diamonds, Stephanie. They shrivel in the sun. They don't sparkle. That is known. That's no secret.
I mean, it depends on what vampire lore you're going with.
True.
In Bram Stoker's Dracula, especially elder vampires, like Dracula himself, they just lose their power in the daytime.
That's also true. But still, like...
But that's why they become killable.
Yeah. But of all the things...
The whole Nosferatu kind of thing, which comes from Eastern Europe originally, played by Boris Karloff in 1928. Which was a different monster with a lot of similar characteristics to the vampire. Those had weakness where they like burst into flames in sunlight.
Okay, I think that's what I'm thinking of. But still, there's no like...
But that kind of got fused together, sort of like the way... like a lot of the Universal monsters from the 1920s and early 1930s kind of set the modern zeitgeist for what those monsters do and what their lore is.
Yeah.
Like Frankenstein's monster just going instead of being an intelligent creature that was just completely sociopathic from an absolute lack of love.
Yeah, which totally cheapens his story, honestly.
Oh god, the actual book Frankenstein is so much more devastating. The monster is so much more terrifying.
Yeah, which that
because
is...
he's not just this lumbering mass, he's this gigantic, powerful creature that is just completely disconnected from any humanity and intelligent. Incredibly intelligent. Which, God, if I did literature in college, I would have done my fucking thesis on Frankenstein.
It's... the whole story is... Coming to Storytime Saturdays near you in a couple of months, few weeks. The schedule's over there. So, which now we're off a week because, well, we're going to be off a week. Excuse me.
So the acceleration is over 10,000 times Earth's gravity. The amount of acceleration they produce in their strikes.
I need... Okay.
The only other thing that does stuff like that or greater are like the centrifuges we use to enrich uranium. Which are 10 times that, but... Jesus fucking Christ, that's a lot.
Yeah. And because they strike so rapidly, they generate vapor-filled bubbles in the water between the appendage and the striking surface.
Known as cavitation bubbles. So cavitation is what happens when a liquid undergoes a pressure change where its pressure drops so rapidly the temperature can't keep up. The temperature goes above its... the pressure drops below and the temperature remains above its saturation pressure, which is the point where gas turns to liquid, liquid turns to gas. So the pressure drops so low that at that temperature, that liquid would normally be a gas. So it immediately turns into a gas because of this very localized event. And then immediately all of the heat and pressure from the liquid around it kind of goes, no, you're this state. And it collapses back down. And all of that energy, right? Because change in phase between like liquid to gas, gas to liquid, liquid to solid, it takes more energy to change a gram of matter between states with water a factor of 4. It takes 4 times as much energy to turn a gram of liquid water into steam than it does to raise it 1 degree Celsius. So you're changing all of this liquid into gas and then back again so quickly it causes a massive amount of energy to be released. So much so that it actually produces light.
The fuck?
Yeah. It's emitting photons to get rid of energy, which is typically something you only see with nuclear chemistry.
This thing is fucking powerful.
Yeah, they have
It's so tiny!
They have not been able to keep it in captivity for any length of time because any tank they put it in, if it so decides to strike the wall of that tank, it breaks it. And I don't mean it cracks it, I mean it shatters it. Aquarium glass, the 2-inch thick,
like
leaded fucking glass.
Like the sharks can't get through it.
There's a difference between impulse and momentum, and the difference is the fraction of time at which that force is applied. It can apply that much force that fast. It goes from standing to 23 meters per second which is about 50 miles an hour. Faster than you can blink by a factor of about 20.
That's insane.
That's
like that is this okay.
That's faster acceleration off the line than a methanol fueled drag racer.
That is insane.
The instantaneous change in state of its claw, which by the way doesn't get absolutely obliterated by this, because if you punch that fast somehow, every bone from your fist to your scapula would pulverize.
So the fact that it survives these things,
it's designed to do it. It's evolved to do it.
Yeah. It's designed to do that.
Like Bruce Lee's 1-inch punch, arguably the fastest punch ever recorded by a human being. Although debates between him and Muhammad Ali, both of which could absolutely beat the crap out of you without putting any real effort into it, even though they're both dead. They could still probably beat the crap out of you dead.
Oh, absolutely.
Just muscle memory.
Yes. Go in and punch their corpse. Also, you're not super visible, right? So you should scoot in. Sorry, I just noticed that.
That's how fucking powerful one of its strikes is.
That is okay.
And they have had such an argument within their own community that one went, nah man, I'ma spear him, and the other went, Hulk smash.
Damn.
Both of them hitting you either sharp or blunt. I don't care what your resistance to BPS is.
Yeah. It, like, you were
so fast that it will literally turn part of the energy of the water into light so that it can recondense back into water.
Well, and so even if they miss, the shockwave is enough to stun or kill.
Yeah. It's the same idea as a bomb.
Yeah.
Quite frankly,
they probably don't even have to aim.
You need to worry about.
Yeah, it's the after effects.
A pressure wave moving through it will still liquefy your organs.
Yeah. Man.
From a 10-centimeter shrimp. 10 centimeters is actually about that. But.
Man.
That's a badass motherfucking shrimp.
That is a badass motherfucking shrimp. That's amazing. I feel like I can't remember what we decided, what we had surface level, just like the single sentence summary written about them, but I feel like whatever that was needs to change, because these things are like
internal damage to the ship.
That's right. Ooh.
The jellyfish were systems slowly failing, and these guys were like components just exploding.
That's right.
So and nobody can figure out what it is because it's just a tiny shrimp. It could literally just be one of them, just bouncing around the internal systems, getting to a component and just going, boop, you don't exist anymore.
Yeah, like I'm done with you. Well, and especially, like, I think it could be interesting for, like, obviously these are aggressive motherfuckers, but for this particular one, it could be interesting to have it get into the, so to speak, get into the pipes, which I realize is not exactly how that works, but
you could.
Okay. So
everything's interconnected.
I'm just used to being told no.
Theoretically,
okay. What if he gets
accidentally
into the pipes, and then he's like trying to fight his way out?
If you broke your way through internal systems, you could go from the sea to the reactor. Not to describe how the actual systems are interconnected, because there's a lot of things in between there.
Yeah,
but he eventually, through heat exchangers, you have to go from hot rock to, I need to get this heat somewhere so hot rock don't get too hot, and Chernobyl.
Yeah.
Or Fukushima or 3 Mile Island.
Yes. Or all of the nuclear power is safe.
Considering that Chernobyl is the worst that's ever occurred.
Yeah, that was not tongue in cheek. That was like I was saying that for real. Like, nuclear power is safe. Again, you could have the keyboard.
Just looking something up real.
Yeah, low-key. this drawing is coming together a lot easier than some of the other ones have, but there's so like there's clear lines on the picture that I have. Well, don't currently have, but have had. Damn.
So, real quick math conversions here.
Oh. Apparently Google. No, the top. Oh. Sorry.
Look, there's a lot of...
Ooh. Oh, is that a... Okay. So they can
The
hear
peacock
us,
mantis
so we can
shrimp.
probably show it to them. Oh, okay. That works.
Otherworldly in appearance, there's more to this odd creature than meets
Real
the
quick, to give
eye.
you guys a sense of scale of how fast this happened.
It's a formidable predator.
It moves.
Its
Its
bizarre
punch is at about the
appearance
same
is the result
velocity
of
as a
80
22.
million years of evolution.
Yeah.
With an appendage for every occasion, the peacock mantis shrimp is the Swiss Army knife of the marine world.
Now I need the speed because I got the force from the other thing I was looking up, but just for comparison.
5 pairs of legs for feeding. 3 pairs of legs for walking.
It's gonna punch this
2
crap
pairs
arm
of
off.
antennae for reception. 10 gills for breathing.
Sorry, I'm just...
2 eye stalks bearing an extraordinary pair
And
of
these motherfuckers
compound
have binocular
eyes.
vision.
Yeah.
And
Which
As
is
most
insane.
predators
a set
do.
of windscreen
Which
wipers.
is like... I don't know,
Because
like you look at...
binocular vision,
But of its
especially with
34
front-mounted eyes,
appendages,
implies
it's those
judging
club-shaped
distance
limbs at the
for strikes.
fore that
Which they
make it a
definitely, I
true
mean,
killer.
in a sense, they kind of need it, but also like the aftershock of their punches.
At just 6
Chris,
inches,
if you wanna
he
punch a
punches
crab dog.
well above his weight. His hunting strategy is
That's white
one
meat,
of
so-
brute
Or
force.
a little bit of
Same.
butter garlic sauce.
Understandable when prey species include the well-armed and well-armored. Not to mention well-camouflaged.
So Mike Tyson, his
But
punch
camouflage is of
recorded
little
at an
use when
estimated
hunted by a peacock
1600
mantis shrimp.
joules. Over
His
the course of
eyes
about
are amongst the
a
most
tenth of a
complex
second.
in the animal
A
kingdom.
Newton. I'm sorry.
While human eyes have just
A
3 color
joule
photoreceptors,
is a Newton
he has
second.
12. With the
The amount
capacity
of
to see
energy
far
required
beyond
to,
the human
I'm sorry,
visible
I have
spectrum,
this backwards. A Newton
very
is a joule
little
per second.
escapes his attention.
Force equals mass times. Yeah. Okay.
While the crab's defenses are
This crab-
formidable, this seasoned brawler
Punch.
treats them with contempt.
With 1,500
He's more
newtons
than a
of
little
force
territorial and knows exactly
in
who's
less
moving through
than
his
a tenth of a
patch.
second. So that
Especially
crab
those
punches
of the
10 times
tasty
harder
variety.
than Mike Tyson in his prime.
Unaware
offense to
of the
Mr.
mantis
Tyson.
shrimp's
Yeah,
presence,
like,
the
that-
crab
nature,
you
strays
scary.
close.
Yeah, like honestly, that just shows just how
Too
scary
close.
this is because Mike Tyson has like his punches. Oh,
Strong. Yep.
With the velocity
Gone.
of a
Just
22
gone.
caliber bullet,
damn!
One more time for the
the
cheap
mantis
seats.
shrimp's strike is the fastest in the
Punch
animal
legendary.
kingdom.
It is the One Punch Man of crustaceans.
Seriously,
The
I bet he
assault
does
is so
100 push-ups,
fast
100
that
sit-ups,
friction
100
makes the surrounding
10K run.
water
in a
boil.
10K run every single day.
Just bop.
The devastating punch knocks limbs off the victim
Funny enough, this
and
One
delivers
Punch
a
Man
quick
first guy
death.
to crab monster.
With built-in cutlery at
What if
his
that was
disposal,
intentional?
his home-delivered crab meat meal is ready
I do
to
remember.
eat.
I have seen the first couple of episodes of One Punch Man.
It's just that insane.
He like this guy is next level. The shrimp. I mean Mike Tyson too, but like But I think it puts into perspective just how dangerous
This 55-gallon salt tank has been sitting empty here for a while.
That's okay. I need this for a minute anyway. Because there we go. Okay, you're good now. Add some background. Oh, hang on, you're not good. Sorry. There we go. Now you're good. Now I can see. I can fight. But like Mike Tyson's punch is deadly, and like to like he has a record-breaking punch, and to think that there is a 4-inch creature
that punches 10 times harder than him.
Like, that's insane.
Getting punched by Mike Tyson has been mathematically likened to being hit by a Vespa. It's not exactly a tank, but to be able to punch so hard, it's the equivalent of being hit by a small vehicle.
Like, that's painful. That's next level for a human. Okay,
Fun side story. During the filming of Rocky IV, Dolph Lundgren punched Sylvester Stallone in the ribs so hard he had to go to the hospital. And before they could tell the doctors what had happened, they thought he got hit by a car.
Oh my.
Dolph Lundgren, multiple-time karate champion of Sweden. Also a Fulbright scholar.
Oh.
Yeah, has a master's in chemical engineering from MIT.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
And he banged Grace Jones.
I mean...
He went from being her bodyguard to being her bodyguard. And their eyes are situated in such a way that they can keep up with their speed.
Well, they have to be built that way. Like if there's like one thing about like they have to be built to accommodate that.
Not necessarily true.
True.
I'm trying to think of the specific name of the beetle, but it can move so fast it actually goes blind because it moves faster than it can see. So it just like stops, looks around, and goes there, and then moves to it so quick that it goes blind and then stops and goes, okay, there.
That's like actually really derpy. Oh man, I didn't leave room for the antennae. Oh well. I was trying to label the claws. Don't plan. Plan ahead. But that's hilarious with the beetle. We're gonna just compensate here.
And these things can see in ultraviolet light.
It's insane.
They have a slightly shifted light spectrum to what humans do. So humans can see about 400 to 800 nanometers wavelength of light. These guys can see 300 to 720.
Okay.
So
a similar.
But they can also see the polarization of light. Not the only marine life that can do that. Cuttlefish are also able to do that, although they accomplish it instead of having compound eyes. Their W-shaped pupil allows them to see the polarization of light.
Huh. I didn't know that.
Yeah, cuttlefish are cool.
They're very cool. They're very cool. Are they also deep sea? We could put them in.
I don't know the depth at which cuttlefish live. They're neat, though. I like them.
They're
They're cool
cool
little things. I think they're cute.
Yeah. I was gonna say, cuttlefish are very cute. But I'm that person, so I'm not a fan of spiders, like, if it's in my house and, like, coming at me, and I'm like, you know what, dude? Don't do that. But those, like, little pictures of the brightly colored, like, big-eyed spiders, those are fucking adorable. I love those. I don't know why this made me think of this. But this is a sea creature. Did you ever, like, back in the heyday of YouTube, do you remember that
narwhals swimming in the ocean, causing a commotion because they are so awesome?
That one, but also Marcel the shell with shoes on.
No, I never saw that back in the day.
Oh my goodness. One of my roommates in college showed it to me, and we were obsessed with him. Like, all of our, you know how, like, well, assuming you had roommates in college and you were friends with them, like, you know how you have, like, little inside jokes or, like, weird little derpy, like, because you're in college and everyone's, like, not in their right mind, whether or not you're on drugs, and there were no drugs on my college campus that I knew of.
And of course, the Japanese eat them.
Because of course they do. It's eaten boiled as a sushi topping and occasionally raw as sashimi. Yeah, it like the I
It
I
looks
sincerely
like all of East Asia kind of eats these guys.
Yeah. And so, okay, this was something I was going to, like, mention.
Ooh,
They're
Mediterranean
countries, because, so you mentioned that they were mostly in the Pacific, and then you said that the ancient Assyrians knew about them. So I found that interesting, because the ancient Assyrians were, yeah, they're in the Middle East. So I was like, huh, we're going to circle back to that eventually, and we did, in the Mediterranean. So apparently, they've grown unusually large in the contaminated water of the Grand Alawai Canal in Waikiki. Huh. Stomotopods. The peacock mantis. I'm gonna keep. Yes, remind me later when we're not live, and I will show you that video because it's fucking cute. But that became like the source of all of our roommate like things. Was Marcel the shell with shoes on?
Alright, that looks like it. That's it for what Wikipedia has. If a mantis shrimp punches a person, there's almost always a loss of tissue after the strike and heavy bleeding.
Damn! That thing is 4 inches! Stop it. Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! Get out of here. As it was coming out of my mouth, I was like, that's, no. Shiny, fabulous boy. He's just,
He looks like a Star Fox villain on the Token Blue Submarine level.
Okay, so can you drag that one over there? So you don't take this one away, because I like this as a reference photo for a research drawing.
He's even going like, come at me, bro.
Yeah, like, look at him. Look, he's like, what? Although, I've been hesitant about adding colors to these, except for the Bloody Belly Comb Jelly, because first, they're research drawings, and like, second, I don't like, is this character that we're saying is drawing these, is she going to see them in full color? Or because like this one has no color because it's dead and it's, under a light. It's preserved.
Conservation status, not endangered.
No
I
fucking
wouldn't
kidding.
think so.
Those things will endanger everybody else
thumb
before they
splitters.
endanger themselves. Of course they are. Due to the painful gashes they can cause if handled without care by humans.
Grab it by the tail. Got it.
Yes. Wrong way. Debating adding color to this, but we'll see.
Yeah, the temperature of that cavitation bubble is about 4,400 degrees Celsius. They have 12 to 16 different color receptors in their eyes, which is about 3 times more than a human.
Well, that explains why they can see color, even though they live so deep in the ocean.
And they've been around for about 400 million years.
Oh, man. Ancient boy shrimp. Oh, they're monogamous. How long do they live? If they're with the same partner for up to 20 years, they live together. Look at them. They make little houses. They get married. I don't know why I'm so amused by that. Wonder if they also build communes when they get sick of Shrimp Society.
Let's check the old Encyclopedia Britannica.
Ooh, yes.
Wow, it seems like they haven't updated their format since the 1990s either.
Damn. Yeah. Ooh, there's a little. Look at that right there. Boop.
Okay, so some of the species can get up to be a foot long.
Okay. So that have like. I mean, honestly, for the story though, I think giantess. I mean, small boy would work better for like what we're going for. I mean, we like eventually like so for the short story, small boys, but maybe eventually there could be like these bigger ones, and maybe those are like.
I don't know. I kind of like the idea of all of them being tiny. Just this unseeable force of destruction that just why everything is exploding.
Yes, that is true. That would be
like sonar doesn't see anything. There's no contacts out there.
Yeah, because they're so small. And then.
But all of a sudden, just like.
And they're just like.
Get fucked, nerds.
Adjusts his little cap. Snapback words.
His shrimp out t-shirt.
Yes. Got legs. Got legs. Maybe this kind of bigger than I probably should have.
Alright.
Yep. Okay.
So we can.
Yeah, so you should start. I was going to say, start writing down facts and things that we want to remember. So, like, here. Okay, for real this time, give me a keyword. Oh, my cup with my little manatee is visible. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah! There we go. Spelled Mediterranean right, first try.
Look at you. Impressive. Dude bro, question mark. So I mean for the short stories we're keeping it serious, but
Well, I thought we were just kind of alluding to whatever the thing was for a lot of the short stories.
Yeah,
it's more about the submariner's perspective of like what these things are doing and like how
so
things are going wrong.
Yeah.
Or when we introduce them in the novels and we like give character to all of these creatures.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of fun, like that. He's like specifically an MMA dude, bro.
Yes. Like they've heard of Mike Tyson, and they're like, he's a wimp or something.
I need to think of a fish for a pun on this. Hold on. I got
Buffering.
something for this.
Okay. I believe you. Almost done with the research sketch too.
They
I
listen to
gotta
the
label it
Joe
though.
Remerade podcast, or the Joe Remerade experience.
Yes. Yes. They're a bunch of fucking dude bro white boys. Who listen to like everything Joe, what did you say it was?
Joe Remerade.
Remerade.
You know, like the Pokemon, because
Yes.
they gave up on creativity after a certain point.
Yes. Yes. Well, I mean,
Because
there's
a
so
Remerade
many.
is a type of fish.
I mean, there's so many Pokemon. Like, at some point, like, the creativity runs out, dude.
What if it was just like a ghost balloon that kidnapped children? Somebody go check on the people at Game Freak.
Yeah, seriously.
Drifloon, by the way.
Drifloon.
That
It
wasn't
kidnaps
making-
children?
What? Yeah.
Oh my god.
Read the Unova Pokedex entry about it.
Oh my word. I honestly, I have not gotten very far into any Pokemon game.
There's really fucked up ones. I think it was either Outside Xbox or Outside Extra did a list video of like 7 Pokemon with horrifying Pokedex entries. Yeah, there's some messed up ones out there. You know, the fact that like the skull that Cubone wears is the skull of its mother. Shit like that. That one was from Red and Blue.
That's horrifying.
There was dark shit in there from the beginning. There was
Yeah.
some Pokemon that were just messed up.
Dear, I'm just gonna send the Pokemon creators a text, and it's gonna say letter R, letter U, okay. Are you okay? That's 4 letters.
The answer is very clearly no. Resoundingly, but they have enough money to go to therapy.
Yeah, but have they?
No, because they keep coming up with more fucked up
Because
Pokemon.
they keep making all the money that they could use to go to therapy by not going to therapy.
Yes, that's how art works.
Art is my therapy. Although I alluded to this story today in one of my in my writers club class, because one of my students like made up a species of anglerfish that is gargantuan, and I misheard her at first, and I thought she was saying that this was like a real ancient species of anglerfish, and I was like, wait, what is this? Like, tell me about this. And she was like, oh well, I just made it up, like, because I was asking her how to spell it, and she's like, oh, I don't know, I just made it up. And I was like, oh no. And so then I told her, I was like, I'm writing this story with a friend about like we're learning about deep sea creatures, and then like taking that knowledge and expanding on it and using like writing stories about it. And another one of my students goes, how many stories are you writing? And I was like, you know what, leave me alone.
You don't know my life.
Yeah. And then I
What
said,
are you, like 9? Shut up.
he's 10. Or no, this one's 12. This one's 12. Never, no, whatever. He's middle school. He's in middle school. I can't remember what he is. It's on his student profile. But he just so judgmental. I was like, sir, leave me alone.
Let's see, what else I want to talk about. The Mantis Shrimp.
Yes. Damage. Big bad damage. Yeah, damage to internal systems. So, okay, yeah. Filtration. And we were thinking this was just gonna, for the short story, I mean, obviously we're not visually seeing it in the short story, but it could just be one.
Yeah, just one.
Just that it gets
Because these
stuck
are not
in the
DUA
system.
submarines
Yes.
designed with countermeasures and engineered applications.
It's just like, get the fuck out of my way, you're in
Yeah.
my space. Like maybe this one.
Does not give a fuck that this submarine is like, let's see, 3 times 600, 1,800 times larger than it.
Yeah, it's like, you're in my space, get the fuck out of here. They just punch you.
Does that whole like video game thing of like this gigantic creature, I'm gonna like get swallowed on purpose so I can blow my way out of its insides.
Yeah, so it accidentally gets into the system, but it really like it's in there because it wants to be there, kind of thing. Yeah, I like this, and I didn't really see a lot of like. I'm gonna leave this black and white for now.
Could always make another drawing and color it later.
Yes, yeah. What I was thinking though, I didn't see a lot of things that like gave me parts of this thing, if there's any like, but I'll do like my drawing of the mantis shrimp is bigger than the mantis shrimp. So 10 centimeters. I'll make like a little note here, really, because we're doing this in character, which I think that is going to transform some of what I do with these earlier sketches. So I think I will have to redraw some, or just like do more with it. Anyway, really powerful. Almost. Or no, hang on. Broke its tank. WTF. Okay. Because I want to include like little like things that show that this is a person with personality drawing these. But yeah, so I think research sketch is done. Next thing I think we should do is, do you want to, I mean, we'll take a break in about a minute or two, but I think, let's see. Okay, so we're looking at the Act 1, which is the short story collection. It's 5 stories and an epilogue. The epilogue introduces the scientist character that's been making these drawings. Which, as an aside, I don't know how my self-inserts or my random things that I do with this always end up with me being a scientist. Did I tell you about the space campaign that we were doing with Thor last summer, where my character was an astrophysicist? Because she was trying to build the TARDIS. And because she was an Eternal, and so it just, this whole thing, I was like, why did I do this to myself? Because Thor was like trying to get me to like come up with like factual information about things, and I was like, you are talking to an English teacher who doesn't know why she did this, but she wants to build a TARDIS. So anyway, that just strikes me as funny. That again, there's another, like, because I am like, I mean, I was good at science, but the way I was taught science made it very hard for the way my brain is wired to wrap my mind around. And so like I got it and I enjoyed it, but it was also in many ways very challenging for me, because like conceptually certain things could make sense because I wasn't being shown how things were working. I was just being told, like, memorize an equation and this is how things work. Which
sorry, all I'm thinking of, like, you learning science based on your history and background is like the scene with Kenneth from 30 Rock, like, oh, science was my favorite subject in school. I especially love the Old Testament.
Okay, you have no idea how accurate that is. In high school, so I did video classes for all of my homeschooling. Yes, I'm telling this story that you don't even know. So in high school, I took physical science, chemistry, biology, and I did a little bit of physics, but you only need 3 years of science in high school to graduate from high school in Washington. And physics was very challenging for me, and like a way that it was like consuming half of my day. And it wasn't because I didn't get it, it was just taking me a while to like get through everything. And like I would go through an assignment and like get everything wrong, and my mom would just print me a new version of it and just hand it to me and be like, try again, and then I would get everything perfectly. But it was taking up so much of my time that it just, for my mom, it wasn't worth it for me to keep doing it. She was like, we're not gonna do this anymore. But every single high school science class, no matter what we were learning, so, you know, physical science, chemistry, biology, physics. The first week of class, we talked about creation versus evolution and why both things were a theory and why both things had to be taken on faith. And that was every single year.
Theory has a different use in the scientific community than it does in common language.
Yeah. So, and like...
One of them has literally hundreds of thousands of pieces of evidence supporting it. The other one has to be taken on faith.
And I will say, like, for me, from my perspective, I see evidence of design, but that doesn't mean that, like, both can't exist. And that was the problem that I have now, looking back at it, was it created this false dichotomy that, like, if you believe in intelligent design, you can't believe in, like, the, like, long-term development of species. And they would push these false dichotomies. Even there's even like just in Christian culture in general, and like to the point where I remember sitting in a science class in college, and basically this was there were only a couple of science classes I took in college because my degree was in the arts. And it was a psychology degree. Well, anyway, I took physical science because I spent a semester as an education major, and that was one of the requirements. And then I also took what was called essential science, where you spent half the semester in physical science and half in biology. And it was a ridiculous class, and I hated it. But in the biology class, the professor went so far as to say, like, you can't be a Christian and think that evolution is correct. And when I in the class discussion, we were talking about like adaptation versus evolution, and I raised my hand. I was like, do you mean like micro versus macro evolution? And he goes, yeah, but we're not going to use that term in here because like we're not going to use the same terms that the bad people use. Like, he didn't say it that way, but that's just how it sticks out in my mind, is we're not going to use the vocabulary of the enemy. The vocabulary of the enemy, like when I was like, but that's literally what it's called, is macro evolution when species are adapting. And he was like, yeah, well, we're not gonna call it that. And I was like,
you totally should have trolled him. He doesn't know any better, and used the term descent with modification. You know, Charles Darwin's original term for the whole thing. He actually didn't really like the term evolution. It was just something that the papers put out to describe it in a single catchy word.
Well, it
stuck.
Yeah.
Descent with modification is a far more accurate term. Mm-hmm. Evolution requires looking at it on a scale of thousands of generations, as opposed to what he was studying and like how do these things adapt through the generations to their changing environments. Mm-hmm. But continue.
Leading on to, we're not going to use the words of the enemy, that was actually a big reason in fundamental Christianity, so 90s kids, millennial kids, why lots of millennials who were raised in fundamentalism were not allowed to engage with Pokemon because they use the term evolution.
Which evolution isn't even an accurate term, it's metamorphosis.
Yep. So a translation error is the reason. But also there was another reason in my family as well, which was the reason that I was told, which I think there were more than that, but the reason I was told was that like because Pokemon was like it's something about in the Pokemon show, they're like it's in your heart and only Jesus could be in your heart. And I feel like this might be a good time to take a break. So I remember spending an entire, which like
only blood can be in your heart.
Shout out to my aunt and uncle who live in Chicago, who showed the utmost patience with me while also pushing me to think beyond what was being fed to me, because I once spent an entire afternoon at a museum with my uncle arguing creation versus evolution with him, and like 13 years later would be such a different conversation, because I still I believe in I believe in God, I believe in intelligent design, but I also science is also a thing, know now that I can like
It's under the sauce.
Yes, it's under the sauce. The Earth is old, and the Earth was made. Like those two things can exist, and it just.
Yeah, it happened when the leftover particles after the sun formed aggregated in disks that eventually collapsed together under their own gravity, forming rocks that collided together with other rocks, because that's how multi-complex form gravitational systems work.
Yeah. But and so I was taught all of that as if like, man, can you believe this joke that these dumbasses and all of science believe? And I was like, and like as a kid, I'm like, wow, I'm smarter than a science. Which I was thinking about little me today in that context, because I have a student who this is not student, this is just she's very confident in what she believes, which I think it's good to be confident and it's good to feel secure, but I was actually thinking today, like, because she reminds me so much of myself when I was her age. And I was reminding myself, what did little Rose need? And so what does she need from me? And so, and it actually helped the lesson today. And so that was like, it was something I was thinking about earlier today. So it's funny that it came up because I started talking running my fat mouth. But yeah, it like even researching these, like these sea creatures is so fascinating to me, to think about like how they evolved over time. Because like as kids we were like trained to go whenever we heard anything about like evolution, like so I still in my head, if I hear something is millions of years old, I hear like a buzzer in my head. I also hear balloons pop whenever I say the word classical conditioning. You are going to use that for evil. I
am. You gave me a button to push, and I'm going to push the button until either the button breaks or you do.
Yep. One of them will break first. But that one is because that's how...
Classical conditioning.
Oh. Because my general psychology professor, he...
Classically conditioned you?
Yes. He did! When the day of classical conditioning, like, he had, like, 5 balloons on the desk at the front of the room, and every time he said it, he would pop a balloon. And, yeah, none of us ever forgot it.
I was waiting for my buddy, because at one point in time I was at Drexel before I went to Rutgers in college, and he went to Temple, and he would give me rides back to Jersey. So I'd go over there, and occasionally I got out significantly earlier, so I'd pop into one of his classes, and one of his psychology classes was doing one of those things with, like, everybody look at a different card and, like, pick one, and then, like, it eventually, like, eliminates down, and no matter what, it's a mathematical algorithm, so everybody, the one card remaining winds up being, like, the one that everybody picks. And the psychology professor, she was like, so what do you think of that? And me being the asshole sitting there bored in the back just jumps up and goes, she's a witch!
Man. You have not changed in 14 years.
I haven't changed in 20. Honestly, probably closer to 30.
I was gonna say, like,
let's
call your mom in here and say 32.
I've been a chotch my entire life.
The minute you started talking.
I am a product of my environment.
Our next special guest is your mom.
Everyone in the auditorium was like, what the fuck? Who the fuck said? And like my friend is like, I know exactly who the fuck said that. Oh Jesus fucking Christ. I'm going to drive the car off the Ben Franklin Bridge. And the professor is just dying laughing.
That is like a Thelma and Louise moment. Just taking you with me.
Yeah, just right off the edge of the cliff.
Oh, that's beautiful. That is.
He was like, he's like a super reserved and serious guy. Like he's goofy and funny, but like when it comes to being around other people, he's like, no, that's not how you behave.
We are serious.
And I'm just sitting there, she's a witch. I am an asshole. I am
Yes.
a very big asshole.
Yes,
but
you
you know what?
are.
I entertain myself. And I entertain other people, so I get away with it
You're an
because you
asshole.
people keep feeding me. Stop feeding the trolls. Or don't, because I enjoy doing the nonsense I do.
You're an asshole, but you're an entertaining asshole, so, you know. Maybe like 80% of the reason why I keep you around.
I forgot about that story until you brought that up and it made me think
You're
of
welcome.
it. Just, 10 years later, 14 years later. Yeah, no, because I was 18 at that point, so yeah. 14 years later, fuck.
That same professor that I had him for social psychology, and he took great...
That must have been fun with the Christian twist.
It was very interesting. He took great pleasure in assigning us social experiments to do on the student body at large. And one of the most interesting ones that I did was...
That's just not fair. Anybody who went there has no social experience.
I know! But one of the really interesting ones that I did...
That's like me playing mind games with an elementary school. Like, you guys have no life experience. Of course I'm gonna fuck with you.
So you'll appreciate this then. So there was one experiment where you had to go around. There were 3 phases to this. So you're walking around campus, and you had to just say hi randomly to 10 people. And he wanted you to try to kind of split it evenly between men and women and everything. And so then you make note every time you do that, make note of the person's reaction, how they engaged with you, if they said hi back, all of that. Then you took a friend of the same gender, walked around with them, and did the same thing. Took in their reactions, took in all the data, whatever. Then you took a friend of the opposite gender and walked around with them. And it was I would love to try this. I want to go back and find my findings. It's on my external hard drive somewhere from my old computer, from my old laptop. And I would love to go back and look at my findings and then also try this again, at a secular university. I could not pass myself off as a college student, but just try it, because the one thing that stands out to me that I do remember is I grabbed a guy friend who he's married to one of my best friends now, and he's another one of those guys that's just like a brother to me, and which is hilarious because I will not tell that story, but it just hilarious because we were good friends, we had good all of that, and so we were walking around campus, and I noticed both the men and the women that I would either way, that they were less responsive to me when I was with a man, as a woman, especially the other men.
Because if you're by yourself, you're being friendly. If you're with another girlfriend, you're like, oh, I noticed him, I'm gonna stop talking to you because you're you caught my attention hard enough for me to want to say hi. If you're with a dude friend, it's what the fuck is going on here? Yeah.
But it was interesting, especially with the way that men and women related to each other on this campus. The fact, so I will go this way. The fact that this guy and I were such good friends, some people actually, not that they took issue with it, but they just assumed we were dating. And it was just because I hung out with him.
Which gets confusion from the dudes and judgment from the women.
Yes.
Was that not your exact findings?
Yeah. That's basically what it was. And it that was what I found. And
and look, I can conduct this entire experiment with just thought.
Yeah.
Not having to actually socialize with other human beings, which is the best kind of experiment.
Yeah. Which socializing
doesn't require me to get up or talk to other people.
I absolutely hated that assignment because I had to randomly say hi to people, and I was the kind of person that unless we were very close, I probably wouldn't even say hi to you on the sidewalk. We had to be very good friends for me to just nod and wave, and which somehow I still wound up knowing a lot of people on that campus, but so it was so, I hated that one, but it was very interesting to see that reaction, and then because that even it was very consistent with my experience on that campus. Any guy that I was friendly with, that I tried to be good friends with, they either assumed I wanted to date them, and either became very hostile towards that or became too friendly, and I was like, wait, no. Or they didn't think about it, and other people thought we were dating. And it was just like, it was like this ongoing cycle, with which I think is such a problem in these kind of purity culture type spaces, because it kind of boils men and women down to their sexuality and to like the fact that they like that.
Go figure.
Sex.
Humans are complicated creatures, and if
Yeah.
you force one particular idea that does not encompass or goes contrary to large facets of human behavior, they don't know how to respond appropriately. What a fucking thought.
Yeah. Oh, and it makes me think about like some marriages that I have seen that happened because they met at the school that have since ended. And I do wonder,
Because they got married because they thought, oh, that's just what you do,
Yeah.
not because they genuinely wanted to spend the rest of their lives with each other and had that sort of connection.
well, and even like because you
Who would
think,
have fucking thought?
because we're taught to believe that like the minute we have a chemistry with someone, we're meant to like be in a romantic relationship with them, or like the minute we have like we're close friends with them, like the next step is getting married. And
Because
it's
it's the older generations using you guys like toys and going, now kiss.
yeah, that's basically what it, like any, and even if a teacher saw me, like a teacher that knew me well saw
Because
me with a guy.
Americans don't have the stones to nut up and go, yeah, arranged marriage.
No, please, no. Fuck no. Say, but think about that. If my parents had been responsible for an arranged marriage in my life, that would be horrifying.
He's a nice boy. He's a doctor.
No. Did I tell you, apparently, because my mom told me recently that somebody that we knew back when we first moved to Washington, they had like a bunch of kids, and they had two sons that were close to my age, one that was older, one that was like a little bit younger.
He's a doctor.
The mom approached my mom and was like, what if we like arranged a marriage between Rose and like the older one, the one that was older than me? That she like, and my mom was like, no, what? No? Like my parents were funny, but not that funny. Yeah. So apparently
There is a strong reason that I hate absolutely everyone. You're all shitty in your own unique ways.
Yeah. I don't know how we got here, but yay, purity culture. Men and women are complex beings and can have all types of relationships with each other.
Nope, take my simplistic worldview because it has to be that way because that's the way I want it to be. Because if that doesn't work, then my model of how the world works doesn't work, and that's not acceptable because I don't know what cognitive dissonance is.
I'm tired of this, Grandpa. It's too dang. Sorry.
They're too dang dumb, there's too much at stake, and the rent is too damn high.
Yep. Too damn high.
You hear that? That's the sound of a child going hungry. Why? Because the rent is too damn high. Jimmy McMillan. Man ran for governor of New York. Brilliant political campaign. Terrible action. Or brilliant politics, terrible political campaign. Hell of a fashion sense, though.
Yeah. And he's immortalized in a meme. So, although no one
That
uses
nobody
that
remembers
meme.
anymore.
I know, no one uses that meme anymore. It was such a good
Because that
meme.
was 2011. That was 11 years ago. Also because New York politics is even more crooked than New Jersey. Because at least they're honest crooks in New Jersey.
Yeah, it's insane. Well, I think this is a good time to take a break, and then
Yes.
we can come back and start working on maybe story one.
Alright.
See what we can do. All right, let's
We will see you guys in a couple of minutes.
right back.
First flight of the orbital Discovery, and the shuttle has cleared the tower. Discovery's 4 computers now have primary control of critical vehicle functions.
All right.
Welcome back.
And we're
Here
back.
we are. Oh, where was I should have got all the time we spent on break, and I didn't. I was like, I should grab ice for the whiskey. I should grab ice, and then I didn't. Okay, thank you. All right, so we found our 5 central creatures. I mean, of course, we're going to. You guys have seen allusions to other creatures that we want to, or at least like I created this doc and that I want to research. But our first set of stories, kind of volume 1, which is a prequel volume, will focus on 5 creatures specifically, and we're actually not even going to see them in a way. Like, we're going to get the idea that they are there.
What's it like to be on the inside of a submarine, not knowing that these things exist in the way that they do, and get attacked by them? How do you interpret that information?
Yeah, let me see what... Okay, I'm going to put this in its own folder here. So I just moved it out of writing projects into Tales from the Deep. Move here. And then I'm going to go to that folder and create a new Google Doc in which... Okay, so what should we call the novella doc?
Tales from the Deep.
Well, okay.
No,
So
I mean, like, the whole thing starts on the concept of Tales from the Deep.
Okay.
And I think the collection of short stories
Should
lends
be
name
Tales.
to the whole thing.
Yeah, that's it. So yeah, my original idea was for the collection of short stories, which would be called Tales from the Deep.
Yes.
So we will have to rename. Well, I'll just put research at the beginning, so I know. There. Okay. So what I am going to do is I'm going to copy and paste all of this just so it's visible to us. We don't have to keep... Actually, we could... What am I thinking? Ta-da!
Also do that.
Yeah, do that. Use our noggins. Okay, so let's see. So I am a font snub. Title. Center this. Oh, come on. Oh, alright. I can format. It's fine. Alright. Center, title. Now change it. There we go. Tales from the Deep. Switch that. Oh, should we do a subtitle?
No.
No. Okay. Didn't. Yeah.
Less is more, I feel
Yes.
like, with this idea of a mystery-based set of short stories.
Yeah. So this is something that I meant to bring up to you offline. Oh well. So for like when I want to be published, when I get published, I don't want my it to be like Rose Elliott. My plan is to be A.R. Elliott to the publishing world. So do you want to go with the initials thing for yourself as well, or so? Because I'm going with
A chance for a nom de plume.
yeah, and because you have 2 middle names, which is also very
but then-
J.R.R. Tolkien.
AJA Rulo.
That was literally what I was going to suggest. So
For now.
okay, for now you can change it. I'm just saying. Just saying. Okay.
Butt Stallion.
What?
It's a Borderlands reference. Don't
Okay.
worry about it.
Okay, I'm not going to. I refuse to worry about it. Oops. Okay. Insert. Break. Page break. And then heading. Chapter or story 1? What-
Each one shouldn't have a chapter title. I feel like each one should be treated as its own story with its own title.
Yeah.
Tales from the Deep is the overall encompassing collection, but
Right.
each chapter, so to speak, should be
Is
its
its
own
own-
story
Yes.
with its own title.
Yeah, because these are it is a short story collection. So the first one is The Giant Squid.
Yes.
Which this is, in this scenario, we have...
Sucker for punishment. I feel like that's too punny.
That is too funny. Especially because we're going for...
And it's counter to the tone that
yes,
we're going for.
Yeah. We're not going for humor here. We're going for very serious, very dark. So we have... This one centers on the giant squid. And obviously Boat 1. So in this particular story, overarching story, is that a submarine is going to be attacked by a giant squid. They're obviously not going to know what it is. They're going to think they're being attacked by a monster. Somehow they get away. And when they surface, they come back to port. They have this crazy story. And on the boat are these sucker marks, which is the only evidence they have for what attacked them. Because the boat is dented, like it's beat up, it's dented, it clearly...
You came to the wrong neighborhood.
For the title?
Yeah. Because it's almost like a car that drives through the wrong neighborhood and you finally get out after all the commotion and you just look on the side of your car and you're like,
Damn.
that's dented, those are bullet holes, where the fuck did my window go? Working title.
Yeah, working title. But working titles are titles. Alright. So, opener of a story. Setting the stage.
The alarm goes. So, when you run drills on a submarine, you provide as much accurate and realistic simulation as possible, to include sounding the alarms.
Okay, so
I'm thinking...
what does the alarm sound like? Like, if you were to do onomatopoeia here.
Bong, 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 bong,
Like
bong.
that? Or bomb, bomb, bomb. Like, B-O-N, like, bomb, bomb, bong.
Bong, bong, bong. No, it's bong, bong,
B-O-N-G?
bong, yeah.
So, okay, bong, 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 1, 2, 3, 4.
I'm not sure how much I like the idea of starting with onomatopoeia.
I don't like it at all. So
the idea being,
ooh, wait.
he's asleep in his
yes,
rack.
I was gonna say maybe he
And
just
this is
got
what-
into his rack.
This is what wakes him up.
Have we named him yet?
No, we have not.
Okay. I will let you name him since he's one of the main, and I'll name the scientist lady. Unless we want to do a swap, of who names whose character, but
I don't know. I was figuring just putting a working name in until we came up with something.
Okay.
Because I think as much as we flushed out the story and the
the names
Fish.
Yeah.
We really haven't fleshed out characters. Like
Right.
we've given them overarching traits and kind of a general idea of a character arc, but who are they as people?
Yes. Which I think, which I tell my students this all the time, and I have experienced this. As you get to know the character, they will tell you who they are.
Also true.
So, let's give him. Okay, so this takes place in the 70s, right?
Yeah.
So if he is a submariner in the 70s, he was likely born in the late 50s, right?
Yeah.
At the latest. So popular names in the 1950s. Let's go with James for now. James or Michael? Or, well, here, I can...
Well, just bring up the whole
Wow,
thing.
yeah.
Something might jump out.
Robert? David? William?
Robert is my father's name. Might be a little weird.
Robert is my father's name. Okay,
he
that's...
was born in the late 1950s.
My father was born in late 1960s. That's... No, it's just that's so weird. Like, anyway, my father's name is also Robert. My brother's name is Robert. My brother's a third, and he would be a fourth if my great-grandfather didn't have a different name. Anyway. Different middle name. Different
I mean, if
middle
we're
name.
doing him as a self-insert character, Joseph.
Yeah.
Because it's one of my middle names.
Yeah, let's go with that for now. And, like, I mean, Joseph is a good strong name. So.
Yeah. Because it also, you can play off the name depending on relationship a lot. Because you know, Joseph if it's being more formal, Joe if it's casual, Joey if it's more intimate.
Yes, yeah, because that can even help us help.
There's a lot of different nicknames or diminutives of that name.
Yeah, which can then speak to his relation, like give hints towards his relationship with different characters.
Because you can also call someone Joey.
As a derogatory?
No,
Oh.
as a as a nickname without it sounding diminutive or a little kiddish.
Yes, yeah.
Whereas like Andrew, if you call someone Andy,
Yeah, no. I don't know. I actually... that's,
not just from Toy Story, but like, it conjures up the 6-year-old running around.
Yes. I'm sorry, I turned this to the giant squid, but no, it's not. Paper is not staying down. So, because we're writing about the squid. Going to just use my phone as an anchor there. Not super pretty, but oh well. Alright, so, like...
And again, well, just keep that as his name.
Yeah.
But,
we can always change it. So, because this is the self-insert...
and the first sentence is a hook.
Yeah.
It's gotta be a hook.
Yeah. So...
The alarm klaxon, the alarm klaxon blared again over and over and over.
The alarm klaxon?
A klaxon is like the technical term for what one of those alarms is.
So how C-L-A...
K-L-A-X-O-N.
K-L-A-X-O-N. Hey, the alarm klaxon blared over and over again. So if you're being aroused, like if you've just gotten into your rack and you are being, and immediately the alarm goes off, what would be your like immediate reaction?
Have I passed out yet, or have I just laid down?
I'm gonna say he just laid down because like we're gonna really push, I think, the exhaustion levels here.
God fucking damn it! I better die from this. Like, legitimately, if you've been going for a couple days, you get to lay down, and all of a sudden the general alarm goes off. You're like, all I could think of was just something or someone better be on fire, and there better be a real chance of me dying from stopping this.
Yeah.
Like, otherwise, I'm gonna be very fucking angry if this is a drill or the dryer's on fire again. Because if it's a drill, you know, you respond very quickly.
Yeah.
And you get it done very quickly because it turns out on a submarine, if your fire is burning for more than 2 minutes, you've probably already lost the boat. That's about how much time you actually have to start putting it out.
Yeah.
It's actually terrifying. Yeah, legitimately, 2 minutes. That's it. That's all you have to start fighting the fire. Before it has spread enough that it will kill everyone.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter where it is.
Yeah. So then, despite the fact that he's absolutely exhausted, like, he is still, like, even, like, because of his training and because of muscle memory, he is, like, he hears that alarm and he is springing out of bed no matter... Yes?
Even if it's a drill, and I know it's a drill,
Mm-hmm.
and I actually hear that sound, my adrenaline pumps.
Mm-hmm.
I have woken up to it and gone to bed knowing it's a drill and gotten woken up by that alarm and been full awake, ready to go, running out of my rack. Because when you wake up to it, you don't think about it. You just go, oh fuck, this needs to get solved right now. I need to know where it's coming from. Am I running forward or aft? Like, I get out of my rack, jumpsuit on, shoes on, in the span of about 7 seconds. So you wouldn't be wearing boots if you were underway.
Okay, well, pulling on his...
I mean, I wore slippers because I was a sassy bitch, but...
Is Joseph a sassy bitch? Joseph is you, so
I
yes.
wouldn't go, again, comedy tone versus, like, 'cause,
Yeah.
Honestly, the most accurate...
So,
the tone
accurate.
we're going for, and complete accuracy to, like, submarine life,
Yeah.
the most accurate depiction of submariners and submarining ever put to media was down Periscope.
I haven't seen it.
Because we're a bunch of goofy fucking pirates.
I need to see this. We should, when you're back on Monday movie, or like back into the
Yeah.
rotation for Monday movie nights, we should do down Periscope scope 1 week.
I would just have so much to say about it.
Well, that's the point. That's the
I would
point.
just have so much to say about it. Of like, yeah, this reminds me of the time I absolutely did this.
Mm-hmm.
God, I hope nobody from work's watching.
This reminds me of the time I almost died, and the other time I almost died. So sneakers, like what did the other guys wear? Because they were not.
It's
sassy.
like a combination. It actually largely depended on where you worked. Because
Okay.
like some of the guys who had like worked like away from the engine room, like some of them would wear fucking Yeezys.
Okay,
Like,
so
who the fuck takes a white pair of $1,300 sneakers underway on a submarine?
that is. I have questions.
Yeah, I know, right? Like,
okay,
again,
okay.
we're a ridiculous lot. but
Yeah. So, okay,
I would
this
just say
is-
shoes.
Okay, pulling on his shoes as he ran. He hadn't even had time to strip out of his jumpsuit.
You would never get in your rack in your jumpsuit.
Alright, well.
Your jumpsuit is usually fucking filthy, and you wear it for at least a week at a time if the washer's working.
Okay.
Longer than that. That is just one of those hard, like, if
You
somebody
just
gets
don't
in their
do it.
rack in their jumpsuit, you're
Like,
a dirty motherfucker.
You are a disgusting piece
Yeah.
of shit. Okay. Oh, wait. He was halfway to something before he realized he was still in his, he was only wearing his underwear. Not for humor, but for urgency. He was halfway.
I've done that.
Okay. He
I've
was
100%
halfway
done that
to.
when like they called off where it was, and it was near where I was. Wouldn't even fucking get dressed.
Yeah, he was halfway to the location to his, like, what is he headed for? He was halfway. Oh God.
He was halfway down the passageway.
Okay, down. Yeah, we'll go. Before he realized he was only his underwear. Well, too late. Too late for clothes. I guess. So they won't find my body anyway.
That's nah.
No. No.
So
Just leave it at that.
the announcing circuit crackled to life. Fire in the engine room, fire from the generator output cabling.
Fire from the generator output cable?
Yeah.
Okay.
He ran to the nearest damage control station. Alright, so the picture in my head is he runs to the damage control station, which is an area out adjacent to wherever the fire is happening, like the next compartment over, where everybody gets together, gets dressed out in damage control gear and firefighting gear, and then gets equipped. This way they can keep track of who's going in, how long they've been in there, whatnot.
Yeah.
This way we can make sure people are not going, because the firefighting, the bottles of air only last so long.
Right.
So you want to make sure you're keeping track of who's going in, who's going out. This way when you lose track of someone and all of a sudden they're in this potentially smoke-filled space and you have no idea where they are, and they've definitely been in there longer than they have air for.
Yeah.
But he runs up there, and the chief directing people looks at him like, what the fuck are you doing? Why are you in your underwear? Like, he doesn't know it's a drill.
Yeah.
He's just fucking going to get it. Because
Yeah.
that's a trained response.
Okay, so this...
But the chief knows it's a drill because he hasn't been awake for several days at this point.
Yeah, so this this first one is a drill, basically.
Yeah,
Okay,
basically
I like
to
that.
show the whole, the exhaustion and like the training and like the aspect of it, as well as the instinctual response of like, I just laid down to go to sleep. I finally get a chance to go to sleep, and they're like, something happens. Doesn't matter, up, go.
So his chief was already there, back to the entrance, directing, well, so story, directing, directing guys.
I wouldn't use guys.
Okay, personnel is too sterile though. Directing
the damage control team.
The damage control team.
As they dressed out.
Okay, so not everyone's gonna understand what that means. So directing the damage control team.
As they geared up.
Well, so I was going to say he's taking this scene in, so you don't have to describe in detail what it is, but maybe just like take a moment to show what they're doing, like, maybe.
As they donned their gear.
Yeah. Sure. Their fire control gear? I don't know.
Firefighting gear.
Yeah, there we go. That's what I'm looking for. Okay.
Greer.
So...
You're going out today, sugar.
So, I think, we can have Joseph speak first here, like, where do I go, or orders, like, what would you say, like, if your chief has his back to you when you get there, what are you going to say to him?
Request tasking.
Yeah.
Scene leader to request tasking.
Scene leader?
Man in charge is the term, but with more women coming into the submarine force, they're trying to make it more gender neutral. A lot of people still say man in charge. It's also the 70s, so man in charge would be the appropriate term.
Man in charge, request tasking. Joseph barked.
Trying to get his chief's attention. Because a lot of times you are fighting for someone's attention.
Yeah.
Because a lot of stuff is going on at once. The announcing circuit's going off. The alarm's probably cut out at this point.
Yeah.
Because they don't keep it running because that would be obnoxious as shit and actually hinder firefighting efforts. But he's out there telling you do this, you do that, you do that. Phone talker to damage control central, do this. Recorder, these people going in. So he's doing a lot of shit to a lot of people, and people are showing up like, hey, put me in the game, coach. Like, you need to get his attention.
Yeah.
Because he's doing 1,000 things at once, trying to run through the damage control manual in his head, which is probably instinctual at that point if you're, at the level of whatever his chief is.
Yeah, yeah. Or we gotta name the chief. Sorry.
Yeah.
So, again, this is a drill, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe his face goes from, like, serious to, like, absolute, like, disgust, flabbergasted. Like, what is, like, if you show up to a drill in your underwear, What is your chief? Like, what is his
My
face is gonna
chief or this generic chief? Because
generic
my chief would laugh his ass off, going, "This is a drill. Go get fucking dressed."
So okay, first let's name the chief. Chief Dumbass. Sorry.
I could say, there's a couple different ways depending on how we want to characterize his chief. His chief could either be the perpetually, coffee cup glued to hand angry old chief.
Yeah. So
it also depends on what we want to make Joseph's job be.
That was also something I was gonna like bring up here.
I feel like
would he have your job or would he have a different job? Like what? So especially if we're talking about like this guy. Remember,
he should
eventually
definitely work in the engine room because he's clever enough to put 2 and 2 together.
Yeah.
And like really not let it go. He's just got that obsessive sort of mind. If I need to solve the puzzle, I need to fucking work on this.
Because like how far of a self-insert are we doing? I guess like my character's a scientist, which I'm clearly not. But like how far of a self-insert?
I think having him be a machinist would not be above too much.
Yeah. Hang on. Let me just make a note here.
It's like people would understand what a mechanic is and like what a mechanic would do on, oh yeah, you gotta like fix the things and like stuff. Yeah. Like what I do is a little bit too esoteric to really be available to a lay person.
Yeah. Joseph. Joseph last name. Mechanic?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so Chief's name would be...
Chief. Not Chief, just Chief.
Chief. Sorry.
His chief whipped around to face Joseph.
Okay.
His expression...
Well, because we've said chief a lot, so, like, his chief a lot, so I think naming the chief is... Because my suggestion here for this particular chief is that... So maybe he's, like, the disgruntled coffee cup in hand kind of guy that he ends up becoming a problem in this.
Well, one of the big things in the military is, what's the term I'm looking for? Accepting your title as your name.
Okay, so maybe just
like whether it be your rank or your specific job. Like when you refer to somebody who is on watch, you refer to them by their watch station. You do not refer to them by name.
Okay.
So like, if I was on watch as the ELT. It's like ELT do this or ELT request this information, what have you. Not Rulo, what is this?
Okay. So maybe just Chief whipped around to face Joseph.
Yeah.
Okay.
Chief whipped around to face Joseph. His expression
went from...
dropped from full focus to confusion, or to incredulity to anger.
Yes.
Just the full gamut of like...
Anger.
Just in his head, the entire like, all right, what's going on? What the fuck to you, dumb motherfucker?
So
it all in the span of like a quarter of a second.
What are you doing?
It's got to be at least 4 more expletives in there.
Petty officer, dumbass. What the fuck do you think you are doing? The chief, don't need to capitalize it, the chief bellowed. This is a motherfucking drill.
Let me get into character.
Okay.
Petty officer, dumb fuck. What the fuck do you think you're doing? This is a goddamn drill. Where the fuck is your poopy suit?
Okay. This is okay. Professor, petty officer, dumb fuck, what the fuck do you think you're doing? Get your... This is a goddamn drill. Get your fucking poopy suit on? Is that what you said?
Yeah, I'm not sure if we want to call it poopy suit.
Okay.
Just like, that's what we call them.
Yeah.
Mostly because it's a one-piece jumpsuit, and with the combination of galley food and the eating schedule, and the fact that there are no bathrooms in the engine room.
Yeah. Poopy suit.
Yeah, it's like, and then you have to like get it off, and you're like, oh god, I don't want it to touch the floor though.
Yeah, and you're
because the head is gross.
Yeah.
And you're like struggling with this thing, and then you have to get your arms out of the sleeves, and then like roll it down.
Yeah.
And like you're already just about to shit yourself because the guy you sent to go find you a guy to relieve you from watch is like dragging his fucking feet, and the other guy is like getting racked out for this, or he's like in the middle of a fucking card game. He's like, fine, I'll go get him.
Yeah.
And you're like, they're dying. You're like, where are these goddamn pricks?
Yeah. Okay, so we'll do poopy suit because I think like lingo. So because narrative in the narrative you have to like you want to when people are speaking in the narrative you want to keep the lingo, but then when he goes and gets the goddamn poopy suit,
You refer to it as like
he pulls on his
his
one piece jumpsuit. He pulled. Is he gonna pull a fresh one out because it's a drill, or is he just gonna grab the one that he
he's
tossed?
just gonna grab the one he has that he hung up.
He grabbed his jumpsuit off the rack and off the hook.
Yeah,
By his rack. Yeah. And pulled it on over his shoes. He ran. Pulled it on without taking off his shoes. Let's put it better.
Yeah.
Without taking off his shoes.
Hoping that by the time he got back there, he realizing this was a drill, he pulled it on over his shoes and walked back to DC, the damage control area, hoping he would be there late enough not to get tasked with anything.
Yeah. So maybe he took a moment to collect himself. This was just a drill. No one was going to die today.
Probably.
Oh, yes. He walked, so, because he's, everything,
At
he
this
walked
point,
back.
he realizes it's a drill. He doesn't fucking care because he's tired. All he wants to do is go back in his rack and actually sleep for once this week.
He walked back down the corridor, praying that the drill would be over by the time he made it back to damage control.
Or at least he would get there late enough not to be tasked with anything.
Get there late enough not to be tasked with anything. Even watching a drill was better than participating? No?
So I want to take that sentiment and phrase it with words that are a little bit more accurate to what you would feel.
Okay, so let me start with this. Even watching a drill would be better than participating. So if you're in this situation, Chief just sent you back to put your poopy suit on.
Standing by would be better than hey. Hold on. How do I want to phrase this?
Yeah. Because, like, again, part of narrative includes, like, including some of the lingo, but then making sure it's in a context that it's understood or giving it a chance to be explained in a way that fits in the narrative. So
Yeah, I'm just like, I don't like the way the sentence starts with
No.
even.
Yeah. What about just watching a drill would be better?
Yes.
Watching a drill would be better than participating.
I kind of want to go back and like read through what we've
Yeah,
read
let's see
thus
what we've
far.
got.
The alarm klaxon blared over and over again. God fucking damn it, Joseph groaned. I'd better die from this. He sprang out of his rack, dacing down the corridor, pulling on his shoes as he ran. He was halfway down the passageway before he realized he was only wearing his underwear. Too late for clothes, I guess. He mumbled to himself. The announcing circuit crackled to life. Fire! Fire in the engine room! Fire from the generator output cabling! He ran to the nearest damage control station. His chief was already there, back to the entrance, directing the damage control teams as they donned their firefighting gear. Man in charge, request tasking, Joseph barked, trying to get his chief's attention. Chief whipped around to face Joseph. His expression dropped from full focus to incredulity to anger in the span of a second.
Yeah.
Petty Officer Dumb Fuck, what the fuck do you think you're doing? The chief bellowed. This is a goddamn drill. Get your fucking poopy suit on. Without a word, Joseph turned and ran back down the passageway to his rack. He grabbed the jumpsuit off the hook by his rack and pulled it on without taking off his shoes. He took a moment to collect himself. This was just a drill. No one was going to die today. Probably. He walked back down the corridor, praying the drill would be over by the time he made it to back to damage control. Or at least he would get there late enough not to be tasked with anything. Watching a drill would be better than participating. He wouldn't...
Well, so... maybe...
At least he could mostly zone out.
Okay.
At least he wouldn't have to pay attention to anything. Then. At least he wouldn't have to pay attention to anything then, referencing back the watching rather than participating.
So,
At least he wouldn't have to try to focus on anything then.
Try to focus on anything. Have to try.
The idea is like the exhaustion, like the amount of will it requires. Like, if you're well rested, focusing on something is just kind of like, it's over there.
Yeah.
But if you're like, existence is pain, existence is, effort.
There are no more spoons.
And you're just like, I have to think about things. Let me fucking, like, muster up the will to, like, get my eyes to look at this and get my brain to process what I'm looking at. You're just like, I don't fucking care. I don't fucking care. This is a stupid drill. I want to go the fuck to sleep. I'm so fucking tired. I didn't even eat when I got off. I just want to go to sleep.
Yes.
Because there is a certain point where you make a choice between food and sleep. You hit that point on a submarine more often than not.
Yes.
Most people don't eat 3 meals a day because that would require sacrificing sleep based on when the meal hours are, when your watch is, and what time you have to sleep. Weight on him, not fell on him.
The weight
it's
of exhaustion.
Already there.
Yeah, the weight of exhaustion.
It's already there. It's not like he's just coming down and then all of a sudden realizing how exhausted he is. He's just struggling with it continuously at this point.
Pressed down on... I don't like that either. I just don't like weight of something weighed. It's too much of the same word.
The force of exhaustion.
There we go.
Weighed on him.
There we go. The force of exhaustion weighed on him as he once again walked into damage control.
The force of exhaustion weighed on him thick like a blanket.
Like a thick blanket. As he once again walked into damage control.
Because that feeling of exhaustion at that point, it's just like trying to move through wet cement.
Yeah. Like a thick, wet blanket.
And it just kind of exists around you, almost like a field.
They use shipmate in submarines, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Only sarcastically or insultingly.
Oh, never mind. I was gonna say his shipmates were like all, because I assume he gets back and they're all lined up, but then like Chief makes him join the line anyway, and he has to still suit up because he showed up in his underwear. Like it's kind of like a
fuck you.
Yeah. So
obviously you're too tired. The answer is more effort.
Yes. So saying his shipmates were already. Oh, hi, Reed. You made it. Is the internet like actually working? He tried to tune into my Elden Ring play stream on Monday, and they saw me, like, it was just buffering constantly with the internet that they have. Oh, wait, except I know where you're not, which means that there's good internet. Yeah, you're at the Airbnb. Because you did not. I have stories to tell you later. His shipmates were, her shipmates were lined up in front of the Chief, decked in full fire gear. Is that
So technically the term is firefighting ensemble. But that specifically only refers to the protective gear, not the bottles of air. They're called SCBAs, self-contained breathing apparatuses.
So, decked in full firefighting ensemble. They're
with
breathing.
So the way you do it is you get in the gear. You have a flash hood on, which is a protective element. That's thermally insulating. and then you have your face mask on with the flesh hood over it. It's creating a seal, and you have your bottle, the backpack on with the bottle, and you have it on ready to go on air as soon as you plug it into the face mask.
Even for
but you
a
just don't have it. Yes.
Okay. Face mask
Because you
sealed
can just charge them
over
up again.
their flash hoods.
But the flesh hood goes over the face mask.
Oh. Face mask sealed under their flash hoods?
Flash hood sealed over their face mask.
Flash hood. There we go. Flash hood. I was like, this does not work. And Reed has a flash hood in the closet. I have seen it. It is the bane of my existence because it just floats around the closet and doesn't have a spot. Sorry. Flash hood sealed
That's
under
gear adrift.
there. Yeah, Reed. Flash hoods, sorry, sealed under their face masks because there's
Flash
more
hood
than
is over the face mask.
holy jeez, I cannot. Over their face masks, breathing
Ready to go on air.
apparatuses ready to go on air. It absolutely is, and I don't give a fuck. Yeah, you know, okay. Maybe he kind of like tries to slink to the side to go unnoticed. The chief was moving down the line, inspecting each sailor's gear, each sailor's outfitting. Like I'm putting a lot of guesses in here.
Inspecting each sailor. So the whole idea is he's giving a quick look over to ensure that they're wearing it properly, because safety gear doesn't work if you don't wear it right.
Right. Inspecting each sailor carefully.
Yeah. Expeditiously, but carefully.
Expeditiously.
So expeditiously is the word we use when we say, do it fucking fast, but do it right.
Yeah, expeditiously.
Don't go faster than you can do something correctly.
Yeah.
It's expeditiously just kind of is the word of like, yeah, I need you to do this fast, but fucking do it right, don't rush.
Okay.
Do it expeditiously.
Expeditiously, but carefully. Joseph.
Half standing behind a piece of equipment.
Slid part way behind a piece of equipment.
Hoping not to be seen,
God that
but not looking like he's hiding.
He wouldn't be seen while trying not to look like he was hiding. It didn't work.
It never did.
It never did. As Chief moved to...
As Chief kept a running tally in his head of who was already in and who was ready to go.
So are we fully in Joseph's head, or are we maybe as Chief moved down? Maybe okay. So maybe give Chief like a little tick, like he's just like tapping on his leg, like as he keeps a tally of people.
Yeah, as he keeps a running tally, it tapped on his leg, keeping a running tally of who was in. Because I want to like also kind of describe the complexity of what it is to be in charge of one of these drills and all of the moving parts you have to keep in your head, running at the same time, moving at such a breakneck pace. It's a lot that goes on at the same time. It's you know, actually now that I'm thinking about it, it's actually an incredibly impressive.
We are doing Tales from the Deep.
So we started writing.
Yeah, we're
and
writing.
We're starting off the entry with our character finally getting to hit the rack after a long, exhausting thing, and pretty much as soon as he closes his eyes, the general alarm goes off.
And it's a fucking drill.
And it's a fucking drill. It's a fire drill.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, he tapped on his leg to keep a running tally of the sailors he inspected.
The sailors that were here and the sailors already inside, or in the engine room.
Okay, the sentence is getting really long. That's why I'm like.
As Chief moved down the line, he tapped on his leg to keep a running tally of the sailors in front, or the sailors ready to. Sailors already in and sailors ready to go.
Sailors already in. In where?
The engine room.
Okay. In the like. That have moved. Okay.
They're already in. They already, like, the first guys who were like ready to go got there real quick, got dressed out, and went, okay, first team in.
Okay.
Go. Now the next group. Go. Oh,
Okay.
look. Fucking Joseph again.
Yeah. There you are, you fucker. Okay. So he tapped on his leg to keep running tally. The sailor's already in, and the sailor's ready to go. So I thought it would be like, so what if one of the sailors that's lined up is maybe one of Joseph's buddies, and he notices Joseph, and he tries to look like he's not noticing Joseph, but in him trying very hard not to look at Joseph, the chief realizes that like he's
Nah,
like,
Chief just knows what's fucking going on.
Okay,
Because they have
okay.
a way of doing that. Of
Yeah.
like, it's like when you try and pull one over on your parents, and they're like,
Yeah.
that's the same shit I tried to pull when I was a
Yeah,
kid. Like,
yeah.
you're not gonna fucking get away with it.
Yeah. When Chief made it to where Joseph should have been. No, this is Patrick. Hi, Don.
No, this is Patrick.
I should, so there's a new thing for bots that I'm going to be working on, hopefully at some point this week, because I did promise the people new features on Saturday, and I better deliver. There with this new bot, it's called Mix It Up, you can add in sound reactions, and so then we can actually put in a no, this is Patrick sound, which I think would be fantastic. Also, Sylvie is incoming. Hello, kitty cat. Also, we can put in like a spot the pet thing, like a reaction for people like, where's honey? There's so many fun things you can do with this. Anyways, when Chief made it to where Joseph should have been, he slowly turned. I'm trying to think of a good way to say this. He slowly turned and easily found Joseph.
Slowly turned.
Where he was hiding, but not hiding.
I do not like
No,
that.
I don't like it either. I'm just trying to put the thought out there and then fix it.
Where he was trying to stand inconspicuously.
Okay. Trying to stand inconspicuously. Sorry.
As Chief moved down the line, he tapped his leg, trying to keep a running tally of the sailors already in and the sailors ready to go. When the Chief made it to where Joseph should have been, he slowly turned and easily found Joseph.
Where he was trying to stay inconspicuous.
You need to put a 2 in there.
Oop. Google Docs will do it for me. Where he was trying to stay inconspicuous. Oh god. Sylvie. Actually, there's a reason that pencil case is up there. Let me just do this.
Before it gets catted.
Yep. For some reason, the power button on my new tower is on top of it.
I'm sure that will not come back to bite you with cats.
Yep. That's why my pencil thing is up there. I need to get something else for up there though, because that also is a phone charger, and my phone is now dying during the day. Well, not during, like, it just, I like having it more charged than it is by the end of the day. Okay, where he was trying to stay inconspicuous. Petty officer, dumb fuck. The chief sneered. So glad you could join us. He stepped forward. No.
So, like, the entire tension of it, like, This is not the time that someone would be
to be snarky.
Yeah, this is not the time to be snarking. It would be like, ah, petty officer dumb fuck, dress the fuck out.
Ah. The chief snarled or sneered?
Cracked?
Cracked?
To give him almost like a whip-like.
Ooh, snapped?
Yeah.
There we go. Okay, so we're going to take the out of there. Petty officer dumb fuck.
Alright.
Stay in view. Stay in view.
Ah, petty officer dumb fuck. Get dressed the fuck out.
Aha. Okay, so still do the ah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's quick. Everything's quick. You're move,
dressed
go,
the
go.
fuck
Jump
out.
to next idea.
Instinctively, Joseph darted out of his hiding spot and snagged the last, what is it?
Firefighting ensemble.
The last firefighting ensemble.
And donned it quicker than his exhaustion should have allowed.
Quicker than his exhaustion should have allowed.
It's just one of those weird things that happens of like you feel like you're moving through molasses and then all of a sudden something that happens, you do something based on training or instinct or anything that's beaten into you and it just happens at the same speed as being well rested.
Yeah. He stumbled into his place in the lineup, fumbling with his breathing apparatus. Is that what it is?
Sure.
So still like he's moving as if he's like awake, but
he
he's
doesn't
still
have the dexterity to pull it off because he's tired.
Yeah. He looked up and found himself toe to toe with his chief. Hi, Kelly. Aw, thank you. Love you. I guess you've been the lurker this whole time. Thank you. He looked up and found himself toe to toe with his chief.
Yeah, at this point, there's no like back and forth. It's like, all right, you fucks, get to the secondary scene or get to the primary scene. Like, get into this place.
Okay. Chief glared at him. Glared at him behind for a split second. I'm sorry. The typos are getting weirder. His chief glared at him for a split second before barking his orders to the whole group. Alright, you dumb fucks. What was it?
Get to the secondary scene.
The sailors immediately jumped to action. Jogging.
Pouring through the watertight door into the engine room.
Watertight door into the engine room.
Alright.
Is there going to be another chief there, or?
There will be another person there. There's always, at any scene, there's always someone who is in charge.
Yeah.
And then they just report back. Somebody's going to get on phones because you need to have communication. Somebody's going to be in charge, directing efforts. And then it all goes back to one of the damage control scenes. And then all of that winds up getting reported back to Damage Control Central, which is coordinating the entire effort.
Okay. So there they found another chief barking orders and directing sailors in 1,000 different directions. No?
No, because
Okay.
it's all in one direction. It's 1,000
Directing.
things. Everybody's working as one. It's
Okay,
this
directing
weird
sailors.
collective whole sort of like insect
Okay.
hive mind that happens.
In 1,000 different ways? Or directing sailors...
I don't think the 1,000 thing really works.
Okay, no, it doesn't. And directing sailors to various assignments, to their assignments.
In a coordinated effort. It's all... everybody's working at the same goal. It's just that between all of the equipment necessary to achieve that goal, you need to have an individual person on each thing. You need to have a person using infrared imaging to look for if there's still heat places. You need to have a person on the hose. You need to have a person on comms. You need to have a person supporting the hose because it's pressurized pretty significantly, and having one person try and fight all of that recoil by themselves with a hose that's, you know, dozens of feet long needs a little extra backup because you also have 40 pounds of gear on.
Okay, so...
And you're breathing through a mask, so...
There's... Hang on, so... Effort. Everyone moved in sync. Not in sync. Everyone moved
unison.
In unison.
Or as
a unit, despite.
As parts of a greater whole.
There we go. As parts of a greater whole. So he's directing sailors. There are different jobs though in this specific scenario. So that's what I'm emphasizing. So he's barking orders, directing sailors towards their stations.
I think just directing sailors works.
And directing sailors, okay. Theirs was a coordinated effort. Everyone moved as parts of a greater whole. Joseph fell into step with the other sailors assigned to... What do you think he's going to be assigned to? What are we going to assign him to?
Searching for... I want to think of how I want to phrase this because I know the jargon. I just
You want to
searching for hotspots, basically, using the imager to search for
assigned to the imager to search for hotspots.
Yeah.
In the area of
just searching for hotspots. Because you're just looking for them anywhere they might pop up. So the whole idea of a primary and secondary scene is the primary scene is where the fire broke out. The secondary scene is the space above or below if you're at the top because of how fire works in an enclosed space. Because if it starts spreading and you're all on the level where it was, if you don't have another group of people down there, spraying things down to keep them cool or fighting anything that's spread, it's just you can beat it up here and all of a sudden spread down here and now it's down here, or you fought it down here and now it's up here and now it's up here and now it's up here and now you're fucked because you just let it grow because you weren't paying attention. Also, it kind of establishes him as kind of like an in thing to anyone who's in the know of how this shit actually works, that he's one of the more senior dudes. Because you do not give a junior guy the imager to have him look for things because the senior dude is the one looking for things because he kind of knows how things can move and spread and how the drills go or how actual shit goes, and he's directing people as to where to point the fire hose. I think this is also kind of a good spot for us to stop.
This is a good stopping point that we have. So
I just kind of want to read through everything one more time. The alarm klaxon blared over and over again. God fucking damn it, Joseph groaned. I better die from this. He sprang out of his rack, racing down the corridor, pulling his shoes on as he ran. He was halfway down the passageway before he realized he was only wearing his underwear. Too late for clothes, I guess, he mumbled to himself. The announcing circuit crackled to life. Fire! Fire in the engine room! Fire from the generator output cabling. He ran to the nearest damage control station. His chief was already there. Back to the entrance, directing the damage control team as they donned their firefighting gear. Man in charge, request tasking, Joseph barked. Reflexive.
He barked reflexively or barked reflexively trying? Okay, yeah.
Reflexively. He barked it reflexively because it's a little out of character for what he wants right now. Of like, he's just going to fuck back to sleep. But it's just kind of reflex to go, alright, I'm here, give me something to do. trying to get his chief's attention. Chief whipped around to face Joseph. His expression dropped from full focus to incredulity to anger in the span of a second. Petty Officer dumb fuck, what the fuck do you think you're doing? The chief bellowed. This is a goddamn drill. Get your fucking poopy suit on. Without a word, Joseph turned and ran back down the passageway to his rack. He grabbed his jumpsuit off the hook by his rack and pulled it on without taking off his shoes. He took a moment to collect himself. This was just a drill.
Ooh,
without Elvin taking off his shoes. What do your elf feet see?
Sorry, keep going. I'm just trying to fix things as I see
He
them.
took a moment to collect himself. This was just a drill. Nobody was going to die today. Probably. He walked back down the corridor, praying the drill would be over by the time he made it back to damage control, or at least he would get there late enough not to be tasked with anything. Watching a drill would be better than participating. At least he wouldn't have to try and focus on anything then. The force of exhaustion weighed on him like a thick, wet blanket as he once again walked into damage control. His shipmates were lined up in front. Shipmates? That's a thing. I don't know.
Okay.
Highlight it?
Yeah.
Just highlight it.
Okay. Yeah, I don't like it either. I just had
We've
to
got to find a
put
better
something.
placeholder for that.
Yeah.
Or an actual thing. That's a placeholder for now. His
Yeah.
shipmates were lined up in front of the chief, decked in full fighting ensemble, their face hoods sealed over their face masks, breathing apparatuses ready to go on air. The chief was moving down the line, inspecting each sailor expeditiously but carefully. Joseph slid partway behind a piece of equipment, hoping to God that he wouldn't be seen while trying not to look like he was hiding. It didn't work. It never did. As Chief moved down the line, he tapped down his leg to keep a running tally of the sailors already in and sailors ready to go. When the Chief made it to where Joseph should have been, he slowly turned and easily found Joseph where he was trying to stay inconspicuous. Ah, Petty Officer dumb fuck, the Chief snapped. Get dressed the fuck out. Instinctively, Joseph darted out of his hiding spot and snagged the last firefighting ensemble and donned it quicker than his exhaustion should have allowed. He stumbled into his place in the lineup, fumbling with his breathing apparatus. He looked up and found himself toe-to-toe with his chief. Chief glared at him for a split second before barking his orders to the whole group. Alright, you dumb fucks, get to the secondary scene. The sailors immediately jumped to action, pouring through the watertight door into the engine room. There, they found another chief barking orders and directing sailors. Theirs was a coordinated effort. Everybody moved together. Everybody, yep.
Moved together.
Everybody. Yeah. Everybody moved together as parts of a greater whole. Joseph fell into step with the other sailors assigned to the imager. With the other sailors assigned to the imager to search for hotspots. Without the comment, it makes it look like all the sailors are assigned to the imager to look for hotspots.
Well, that's
It's
what I was like.
specific to him. No,
Okay,
there's
there's only one guy. Okay,
Yeah.
with the other
those things
sailors.
are stupid fucking expensive. We have
Okay,
like 3 of them on the boat.
Okay.
Because
Because you were talking about how people are assigned to jobs together, so that was what I was getting at, that he was with other people assigned to a job, but if he's to the imager, he's the only one, so.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think this is a good stopping point. Let me switch over to just chatting here. So, do the thing, bring this over, sorry. But I think that's some actually really good progress. I'll show you that offline. But, I mean, we got almost like 1.5 pages written, so that's kind of cool.
At that point, we can just kind of skip to the head of the drill, because I don't really dedicate more than 2 pages to that, especially because I want to keep each short story no more than 20 pages. Yeah. Well, in theory.
Yeah, and we have to keep in mind, too, that these are 8.5 by 11 pages, and they're, so, actually, I will show you this now then. If we go to page setup, we can switch it to, this is book page size, and so we've actually written already 1, 2, and like a little over 2 novel-sized pages of this. So we're in a good spot to start transitioning to post trail scene. So
yeah,
but yeah, we started. So I'm gonna let's find somebody to raid so we don't forget to do that tonight. But yeah, we have started. Okay, so we've got Sabby and. So we've got, I don't know what she's up to right now. She's just chatting because she was, I know she went live earlier. Did she say she was playing? Oh, it doesn't say what she. Oh, that's just come to it. Hang on. Come on. I think she's playing Ravenhurst, but it just says just chatting, so maybe she's just like hanging out. Okay, so do we want to?
I do love some Harvest Moon.
Yeah, let's raid. So we're gonna raid Broken Rebel 8. I know I follow them. I don't know if I've actually watched them yet, so this will be fun. So we're gonna raid them. But we have I think we made some pretty good progress tonight. Yeah. Got the Mantis Shrimp researched and started writing our first short story. So thank you so much for joining us tonight. Please join the raid if you can. This helps us network with other streamers and then also helps support other streamers. So I try to remember to do this as much as we can because it's a good way of just showing support to other people who are also on Twitch. So we're going to raid now, and thank you so much for joining us tonight. And I, myself, alone, will see you on Saturday for my Breath of the Wild marathon stream. I will be streaming all day on Saturday, possibly late into the night. We'll see what happens. And it's going to be great, so I look forward to that. I will see you then. Bye.
Thank you so much for the raid, Lore Masters. Welcome, friends. How are things? How are you? How was your stream? What were you streaming? I did a lot of words there. You caught me just as I'm starting up, and I am a mess today. Apologies, but honestly, not really. I'm not actually sorry. How are you? Here, I will do the thing for the Lore Masters. I know, Toby. Hi. I know. I know. You can just come over here, bud. You can come here. If you would like me, you can come here. I'm not getting up to get you. You can see me just fine. Look, come here. You come over this way. God, dog. You are so dumb. I need to change my investment strategy because Russia's not being nice. Yeah. Gotta play defensive now. Yep, understandable. Hello, thank you for that shout out. For sure. How is stream? How are things, friend? You caught me just at the beginning of everything, so I don't even have the game like fully loaded. playing? I'm playing Suck My Ass. This is RimWorld. I think stream should be updated. But yeah, so if I remember right, I don't care that your room isn't good enough. At least it's better than everybody else's. It's like a whole, like, tiles width better. Suck my ass, huh? Cool game. Shut up, Trevor. Game still says Harvest Moon, but title is updated. Okay.